Gyrocopter! Oh.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nanyang Championships. We are live here in the European Qualifier. Of course, I'm LD. I have the rare pleasure of being joined by Mr. Benjamin Wu.
I chose the wrong color shirt this morning. Actually, the one color I couldn't wear.
You broke the... I'm not sure why, though, because he's wearing a green shirt, and as some of you probably realize, we have a green screen.
Hey, I'm a black.
But it's just...
Yeah,
you're kind of ghostly, but not as much as I thought.
Halloween's only
There was one time where I think someone wore one, and they were just like a floating head, and like arms sticking out of the shirt or something.
It's much more creepy.
Yeah. So, okay, Ben, it's been a little while since I've gotten a cast with you, buddy, so... I also haven't slept, so carry me, please.
Dude, this draft went by in like a minute.
Yeah, we were like a minute late.
We loaded right when the game loaded, and then there was like one broadcaster that wouldn't load.
Okay, let's see how my speed drafting is here. So, first overall pick goes with Empire. They grabbed the lean. The reply is the Darkseer Winter Wyvern, and then Empire grabbed the Gyrocopter in phase 2. They been a Tuskquap for 5JuNGz. The Anti-Mage Beastmaster, interestingly, a Fada Classic removed by Empire. Into the second stage, where we will have a Storm Spirit snap up by the 5 boys. The reply, a Lion to lock them down, and Empire also going to grab that Dazzle to help keep heroes alive. And the 5 boys will round things out with 2 of the spirits now grabbing the fire one.
5 seconds remaining.
I kind of like the Ember Spirit here. There's not that many heroes that can actually deal with the Lina late game as well as contest fights early. So he kind of fits both of those roles. Am and Phantom Laser both receiving very early bans.
Seems like both of these heroes, I'd say even especially the Anti-Mage, have been rising in terms of power rankings for teams. They, like, you look at like certain teams like Cloud9, like Ritsu's Anti-Mage is getting first stage banned a lot of drafts, whereas you go back to TI, I felt like he was a lot more situational.
Yeah, before I thought he was decent, but now after seeing everyone pick him, I'm just like, well, he just does a lot of things better than everyone else. But we do see some stranger bans. We see the Beastmaster ban. Empire actually plays that occasionally, so it would have been okay versus their lineup, but I don't know. Beastmaster just not his patch. Glimmer destroys most of what anyone has to throw at people, especially single target.
Yeah, that to me is very much just a respect ban. Like, it's something that Fada historically is very good at. They have played it a few times on the patch.
It's not.
I wouldn't say I was ever blown away by it, though.
Yeah, it's even if you played amazingly well, it's still not. I would say an amazing pick here. Undying to round things out, a little bit of survivability, some decent synergy with Darkseer and Winter Wyvern. You can definitely keep the Tombstone alive and healthy with Winter's Curse and Vacuum.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong team fight synergy. Of course, you've got your Ion Shell Ember Spirit as well. Can be very feisty in the early to mid game.
I was laughing at YOLO Warrior's name, and then I saw his hero, and was like, "This makes sense. This makes sense."
All right,
it's a tough lineup to play Spirit Breaker against, though.
So I'm actually not sure for YOLO Warrior. I'm pretty sure he's either Fervian or Uba, and then Jadam is standing in for the one that's not here. But I'm not 100%. So if anybody does know in the chat, please let us know.
I was looking at his pub profile, and there is not that much about this guy.
All right.
He goes by YW sometimes, short for
YOLO Warrior.
YOLO Warrior.
Oh, it's Uba. It's Uba. Okay. Well, I might be saying his name wrong. I think someone was telling me he's actually Ivan, but what could I say? I'm butchering it like all Americans do. All right, Ben. First game in a while. You ready?
I need to fiddle with my console.
All right. While you're fiddling, I'll do the introductions here. We've got Empire on the Radiant side. Aloha Dance will be handling the Lion. Silent on the Gyrocopter. They look to defend their jungle early from the 5 Boys invasion. Jottam will be playing the Dazzle, standing in. Resolution handling your core Lina will be going solo mid. Early Tango's pulled up, and then YOLO Warrior, or Ivan, I believe, on the Spear Breaker in the offlane. Someone's going to flame me in like 2 minutes exactly for that pronunciation, but here we go. The 5 Boys. Jerax on the Winter Wyvern. Matumba Man will be playing your Ember Spirit. Mind Control, the offlaner, will handle the Darkseer. Kuro on the Undying support, and that does leave Fada on the store mid. So they banned that Beastmaster out, but seems the 5 Boys had something else in store.
I really like 5JuNGz lineup way more than Empires. Like Empires they have like a lot of overlap. They have a lot of magical damage overlap, I think, with Lina and Lion, which is very difficult to burst people down when there's a Winter Wyvern in the game, especially if he's allowed to farm a Glimmer Cape. And then Spear Breaker is like decent, but it's on top.
A lot of early pressure here. Stun coming out from YOLO Warrior, tries to charge. Doesn't have the bash, of course. So he's not really able to kill Matumba Man. In fact, Matumba almost thinking about going back in. They were looking to bait him up that ramp where they could really punish him. But close call, and hey, that's the level 1 Ion Shell here. So we see the power of that Ember Spirit early on. And man, look at Kuro. What a jerk. Just comes around, decaying from the backside, pokey poke.
Yeah, I think they have like stronger lanes. They have stronger team fight. They have probably slightly better late game if their like supports get decent farm too and can protect them. So I'm not terribly confident in Empire's lineup.
So you mentioned you think Ember is one of the better heroes versus Lina.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Can you expand on that a little bit?
So he's one of the very few heroes that can almost always reliably escape the
Yules combo.
The Yules combo. Like even PL with no cast time on his Doppelwalk like has some issues because he has a turn to cast his spells, but for Ember you don't actually need a turn to cast your Slight, nor do you need a turn to cast your ulti.
So you've got 2 ways to dodge it.
Yeah. Oh, and you have your Flame Guard. Also he's pretty good versus YOLO Warrior on his Spirit Breaker.
He's busy YOLOing top lane, gets caught out by the chains, will end up giving up the first blood. The roaming, ganking zombie man gets the job done. Actually did have a ward scouting that rotation.
I also like his build too. You'll see a lot of Embers go for a Poor Man's Shield first. I guess it's more a mid build, but he went like a lot of regen and a clarity so he can keep up the pressure in the lane, especially because he knows he's very unlikely to be contested. Lion is pretty terrible in aggro lanes, so it's a pretty safe bet that he's only going to be versus 1 or 2.
And good news for that Lion. Aloha Dance is doing a bit of pulling right now together with Jottam, and they have forced mind control off of the offlane, so he goes back to the woods. Looks like he'll begin farming up the stacks here. Double damage ring gonna spawn. Jerax will snag that right away, but there is a Radiant Ward here, so definitely should see the gank coming on mid. Yeah, Resolution definitely gonna have to back off though. So early on, it seems that the pressure's been quite successful. Lina 7-1 against a 14-6 Storm already.
Yeah, and bottom lane's not getting that much. They failed the stack at 1 and 2, and also Jottam has 1 level of Poison Touch, which means if he TPs, he's not going to save anyone with that. I mean, it's definitely useful for zoning out the Darkseer, but in terms of overall game impact, it is going to be minimal, and he really needs his experience ASAP.
That mid gank attempted as Jerax will flap in, but the Arctic Burn, no match for Resolution, moving away.
I mean, this guy just has to worry about everything. You're worried about like a tombstone, zombie from behind.
I mean, you look at this draft, it's like, okay, really, 5 Boys, not that crazy of an early roaming lineup. But
yeah, they're
just playing it like they are. It's working.
I mean, Fada's not supposed to be able to play this aggressively with a Sphere Breaker in the game, but with the ward on top and with the way that Lina has been like semi-contained, it's pretty easy for him to just get a ton of CS.
So they are just trying to take advantage of that jungle as much as possible. Mind control off, farming up with Ion Shell for the Radiant side. Jottam still only level 1 here.
Yeah, where are their stacks? They only have 2 stacks, which I think is actually really low for the way they've been playing. Keep in mind, there hasn't been an offlaner here for like 2.5 minutes. So they only have 2 big stacks, and that's it.
Yeah, Dazzle ran over towards mid. Maybe they missed one of the stacks as well, and it's put them in a bit of a hole here as the YOLO Warrior getting caught out a bit. Chains are available. We'll catch him. Thinking about a charge, but there's nowhere good to charge to, and While he's busy contemplating.
He's really good about his slight timing. Like his searing chains timing. Oh, Fada.
Yeah, taking a lot of harassment here, but he'll be okay. 27-8.
Yeah, it's just the fear factor from Lina.
A stomp.
Yeah, it's really difficult for positioning for resolution. If he stands too far to the left, that's where Winter Wyvern comes in. If he stands too far to the right, he gets backstabbed by a tombstone potentially. So it's like not easy at all for him to.
And a lot of it's this Radiant Ward. It doesn't see these rotations that come through the river. Even if he sees a hero run down the river, he doesn't know if they're up on his hill, if they've backed off to the jungle. So Resolution is basically playing, I wouldn't say totally in the dark, but mostly in the dark.
And the sacrifice that you get for that ward is like, well, you sacrifice mid lane to ensure your top lane, and top lane is doing terribly. So the trade-off that they gotten from placing the ward much higher than normal is not worth it. He's already died twice, and it hasn't even been, I guess, kind of the Undying, but they would have spotted him anyways with the lower ward.
Only good piece of news is he is getting his levels here. He's level 4. But at the same time, the Darkseer is, and he's not dying. So, not the best trade.
Yeah, Ember is going to get out of control, I think, pretty soon. Because Dazzle's just almost free food for him. No way to take off his Flame Guard and not that much survivability. So, I think if Dazzle doesn't start doing stuff soon... Like, he can actually almost just, like, run into their lineup without really that much fear. Like, a single target charge on him is not that big of a deal. They have, like, Vacuum Wall and Tombstone and Soul Rip and all these things to back it up. And Winter's Curse, Cold Embrace.
There is a lot of nuke damage once they get their levels. Like, Gyrocopter, level 5 already. Lina getting her ult soon. And eventually the Finger of Death.
Yeah.
But as long as he's careful about getting caught by those big nukes, then he should be able to.
It requires better positioning though, because Dire has ways to reposition themselves way more easily with the Storm and the Undying, and
even the Surge.
Yeah,
of course,
that's true. And everyone can kind of just like walk around that. Whereas Empire, they have to work around not getting owned by Winter's Curse, not getting hit by like dual Searing Chains, not getting owned by Storm Zip, not getting hit by double decays. Like their positioning in teamfights is just incredibly difficult.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot of zip-zap over here, over there, and just balancing all things. It feels like if this goes the way that the 5 boys are hoping for. So do you want to point out, Ben, that Fada has a Haster bottled up, and... Oh, Aloha Dance, he smoked. I was going to say, if this lion just ran up the river, he could be an easy kill. Already Fada looking to scout out the jungle, doesn't see anything going on there. And won't find Resolution, who has now cracked level 6. But it looks like they want to make a play here, bottom lane. Unfortunately, nobody's home. Just going to show Kuro on mid, Mind Control kind of hanging out in the neighborhood. And now that TP comes bottom. The patience for Aloha Dance may pay off. Jirax wants that delicious, juicy experience. Give it to me! Well, now he's stunned. Call down to follow. Poison Touch is there, and Jirax will bite the dust. But still the pressure comes towards mid as they roam even deeper. And Fada has found a stack. That's a quick, easy triple grabbed with the Ion Shell. Grand Theft creeps over on the bottom side of the map.
That's actually, I think, really worth it for Dire. They don't lose a tower. They sacrifice their Glyph and their Winter's Wyvern, but I think they took a 3-stack right there. And Resolutions, they even planted a ward. He's looking at the stack, and he's just
sad. Like, what the hell is going on over here?
Yeah, you can tell by the pings. That's the angry pings coming out. It's like, dude, where's my stack? What happened?
Especially because he knows he's losing mid as well. So now he's really salty.
Because now, when's his Yule's going to come out? Like, he has to be able to get like 2 or 3 kills in a fight to get it at like a reasonable timing.
And it goes to your other point, which is that they didn't really stack the other big camp. Yep. So he's feeling the burn, man. Not the good kind of burn. Like the one that you all should be voting for. Keep the politics out of the
And now Fada has regen. Oh no.
So obviously for the 5 boys, this is a great start. They're getting farm on all 3 cores here. In terms of net worth and experience, it's even, but they've gotten past that slightly weaker laning stage you sometimes see out of an Ember or Storm, Ben. So they're coming online now.
We got to see if this bottom tower is going to be held or not. Like, Storm has a regen, so he can hold it, but... Ooh, he almost got owned by Lina in mid, but this hold is going to be... It has to come now.
Instead, Fada's the man making the moves here. Has the regen rune bottled up. He's going to TP his way towards the bottom lane, and now the engagement breaks out. 2 hero chains, but caught on to try and counter it. They got the tombstone down on the backside, and off the bat, they've lost 2. They're about to drop Jotum as well. 3 heroes crumble. The 5JuNGz showing no mercy. As they do hold the tower, it was in the end taken by the Radiant. So they get the last hit on the tower, but they throw 3 bodies away just for that.
It was slightly late. They had 4 people there, but I think the Empire thought they could take it with Storm being so low. But again, the regen rune. He was at like 200 HP, 0 mana, and then zipped away, and then regen full and TP'd and just owned them all. Let's see. Ember Spirit also got a... I mean, look at their jungle right now. Fada's still taking the stacks.
This is just... Honestly, okay, here's the play. Radiant team just ward blocks that camp.
Oh my
Then there's no creeps for the 5 boys to steal.
I mean, Fada just... He took 2 camps as well as blocked the 8-minute and is taking their other large camp.
And takes all their... and then takes all the runes. Ganks bottom, is more involved in kills.
Yeah, it's just a nasty life for Lina, though. They really need some sort of roaming going on. Again, Dazzle's not that great at roaming, and he can't pressure the Storm very hard because Storm has a lot of armor, but... I'm not sure. Lion tried to concentrate on bottom tower, but he focuses efforts on that, and they got triple killed. So it is just disaster everywhere.
We just haven't. It just doesn't feel like Empire's really been able to control the game. They try lane bottom. The Darkseer leaves the lane. They don't really farm that efficiently. Then they smoke gank bottom. They only get a Wyvern, and they give up their stacks for that. And now they're going to go smoke. But the Dire team has those good wards placed down, Ben, so they may well expect this type of movement. And Aloha Dance only level 4 at 9 minutes in.
It's one of those Lina games where you have to get treads before your Staff of Wizardry because you're having a really tough time and you know you're not going to get Yules anytime soon. So I think it's a fine build for him to go. If he gets like 2 kills right here, then he can get his Yules at a good timing.
And they're going to make their move. They do get the Hex off onto Fada. Tombstone getting dropped to try and keep him alive here. Kuro in position, dropping the heal, not enough. A full chain stun to bring him down. So they take out the Storm as Yellow Warrior drops low. Grave was used. Zoning him back is silent with the call down, and they'll get a second kill. Empire finding their footing here as they'll now blow up the Tombstone. Chase onto Kuro. And keep on diving. He has another stun, but the Ember's there with a triple remnant. No, he doesn't actually go in just yet. Gets stunned, now jumps forward as they back out in the nick of time. Could have been disastrous if Matubaman hit everyone with that damage, but still continues pursuit, has the chains available.
He needs a surgeon.
Now he gets it. Now he gets it. He wants to go, but Aloha Dance is ready with the stun. And
if he had gotten that off before the stun, that would have been devastating.
That was 2 more kills, I think.
Yeah, easily 2. I would say possibly 3. Lina's haste was expiring, and now she got a haste rune as well as a regen rune. So the tides have turned for that, and now he can okay, I can get my Yules at a decent timing. That was a very good smoke gank. They also had good vision over there, whereas Dire doesn't have observer rewards anywhere. Except on the bottom tower, but they're not really in.
They've got these wards that don't actually see much in terms of territory, but they have potentially very valuable little corners of the
They think
map.
their advantage is a lot bigger than it actually is. They still need to, do the normal things, take T1s, and then control their jungle. They're skipping a step, which is just taking their jungle ahead of time, which is not that bad if you just want to steal stacks, but if you actually want to take fights and kills, then it's very dangerous.
Matubaman poking his head out bottom lane. He has gone into the treads, Aquila, so tanking up a bit. We are seeing the Storm for now grab the Soul Raid. Generally, I'll say Fada has seemed to favor the Bloodstone a bit. Do you reckon it's a Bloodstone kind of game, or would you like to see an Orchid?
I think he just needs to tank up. I think they just need to survive the initial burst, the Lina stun into Laguna, the finger, the call down, the charge, the Nether Strike, and after that, once they use Soul Rip, Cold Embrace, Winter's Curse, Counter Vacuum, once they use all those, then they'll just go crazy in fights because their Tombstone will be up and alive. So it's just about surviving that burst, which is why you'll see him go a very similar build.
The big jump in from Matubaman. Yellow Warrior just kind of stands and watches himself get stabbed by the fiery sword of doom.
He can't actually outplay that. The way that the Ember Spirit is playing is almost impossible to actually charge a target. He uses chains and then he has to turn around. If he wants to charge the Ember Spirit, he casts a Slight, so he can't actually target him.
So then he tries to wind up and he just disappears off the map.
Yeah, and
that's before the Winter's Curse even comes online.
Yeah. And he's almost dead already just from that.
That will soon be available. It's a really good combo, this Ion Shell Ember Spirit.
Just the EG style, back when Arteezy wasn't scarred from his Starladder performance.
He's been grinding. You know what PPD said when I was casting with him? He said, I said, do you have anything to say to Arteezy? And he said, whenever Arteezy proves that he can play a hero better than Sumail, then he can have mid.
Oh, cold.
cold moves from the Salt Lord. And this ward, oh, this may see the smoke. Just as it sees the big, actually a 4-hero rotation. This could be devastating for Empire. Let's see.
You know, Resolution's been playing very well despite the pressure that he's received mid. He hasn't died once, which is pretty surprising, and he's going to have his Yules in just a Sage's Mask, which is probably, 30 more seconds, or could be even less if he gets a kill here.
They're going to break the smoke. 5 boys are ready for this Matumba man. The one caught out at first. The call down still comes through. Connects on 3. Actually make it 4 heroes as Silent gets kept alive by a nice shallow grave. Good timing there. Storm zipping out to the high ground. Matumba man has picked up a double kill. And they can't finish the job on Fada. Resolution continues pursuit, but he won't get the job done. YOLO Warrior now bringing the lantern to bear as the pursuit continues towards Silent. Jumping deep. Matumba man doesn't have the sleight of fist. It's only level 1. And so they will end up just with the 2 kills.
I don't actually think the vacuum in the wall hit anyone. I'm not 100% confident about it, but I was watching Mind Control, and I think everyone else got their spells. They were like just outside of range. It's one of those vacuums where you think you can hit 3 people and then you hit 0.
And you get none, yeah.
So it's
only a level 1 vacuum as well.
They were even standing right there, so that was a really good response by Dire, but at the same time, I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, imagine if they get that
YOLO Warrior. What are you?
Oh, he's yellowing. he's role-playing here. He's like, I gotta live up to my name, guys. Sleight of Fist comes through. The Dazzle Heal, not enough to save him. Kuro just ponks him from above with that devastating nuke. And now Silent caught out in deep. Empire just going in one by one and getting punished for it. As Kuro will maul the helicopter down.
He just died.
Rips him out of the air.
Oh my!
The Silent dropping behind his own tier 2 tower to that tombstone, as you mentioned.
He died from. I'm almost certain it was like 90% HP. He was like trying to run up to help his team. He was like, oh crap, zombies are attacking me. Okay, I gotta run.
While that's happening, Resolution's trying desperately to salvage the game. He's got the Yules now, so looks like he deployed it to find a soul.
Yeah, even with his stack still, and like now he's
actually the leader in net worth. Crazily enough.
Storm has only died once. I still don't understand how like they stole so many stacks, and I guess it's the double runes. The double runes is a big deal. Ember going in mid.
Making the dive here on the Jotum, a committed jump, and with the Grave out, he's going to try to walk away. The Spirit sent one direction, the Hero the other. They really want to commit for this. The back well timed will finish him off on the way out, and now the Ember needs to back up, but Kuro's in front. They drop the wall, almost a zoning wall. Another Sleight of Fist forward. Matumba man re-engaging, doesn't have his Flame Guard any longer, but poke and prod, no! Almost dead, jumps away in the nick of time, will make it out. Very well played here. There's a long-range jump from Fada, engaging onto the YOLO Warrior, who, as usual, is just in the middle of 5 enemy heroes, and punished for it.
Now their wards are really paying off. Like, both of those wards help them secure kills. First on the Dazzle that was hiding behind, and then the other one with to spot out the Spirit Breaker. So now Empire, they're kind of, in that small quadrant. What do we call that? The I'm getting owned quadrant.
This is like when you're like in MMA when one guy's just dominating the other one. He's curled up in a ball in the corner, and the other one's just pummeling him and kicking him, and it's the no mercy corner, Ben. Yep. That's what I would call it.
But Lena's still fighting back.
Yes, Lena, the fiery redhead, is doing her best. She is building. So it looks like straight towards the Ags here. Gets the point booster right away.
I mean, their team fight is just simply terrible right now. Gyrocopter has 850 HP. He has to rely on a grave to pretty much stay alive.
First. Not your most common gyro build nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he has to get farmed because Ember is manhandling him in terms of farm right now. And
they got the charge vision off for Fada. But this is a long way to go.
They have really good vision in the area.
Dire vision, you could see they have eyes up the hill.
Oh, this observer ward is just out of Sentry Ward range. If they saw that, they would know that they were smoked, but they don't.
Very unfortunate. The 5 boys continue to apply pressure here in the bottom lane. Fada and Kuro. I'll take the tower. And Kuro, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this, has a Glimmer Cape and 700 gold in the bank.
That's really bad for Empire.
Because with the Wyvern, it's normally the Wyvern's the one that farms the Glimmer, but he's just been given one for free.
Before it was okay, they can probably kill people before they get Glimmer. Now it's 17 minutes in, and Undying has Glimmer. And Winter Wyvern's still pretty poor, though. So that I guess that's pretty decent for them, but whew, they're up against the ropes here.
Well, the 5 boys looking to keep the pressure up, smoked for now, are moving into the Radiant jungle. Resolution, not actually... Oh, it was scouted, just barely on the boundary of this one. The paints come out, the smoke will break. I think he might have gotten a glimpse just for a millisecond there. Yep. We'll back away. But you can just see the way they're moving, Ben. Like, they are not afraid of Empire. Yeah, we're just gonna 5-man to your tier 2 mid and keep on pushing for more. At the same time, they keep fought bottom, so... Like you mentioned, the aggressive vision, just so much map control early
A
on.
really good decision to sack top, though. If they go on top, they'll probably just file in one by one and just get owned by other single target. They need everyone there with like the Glimmer and again like the Cold Embrace and the Counter Vacuum to actually be able to take team fights. And even though they only have 4, it might look like a decent fight to take, but they'd have to file in one by one or TP to the T2 and walk in full vision of that observer ward and get wrapped around behind. And that's a pretty easy way to
yeah, it's a lot of qualifiers and ifs and possibilities.
It's just too risky. They don't need to take that risk. That tower doesn't really offer them that much because they're not farming their jungle that often.
And now Matumba Man starts engaging, finds Jodam with the initial chains. Looks like Jodam will end up going down here, brought down by a vacuum. On the other side of the fight, Fana gets caught by a stun. Now Aloha Dance looking for the TP out. See you later. No such luck as Jerax commits the Winter's Curse to secure the kill. So Empire, they take their tier 1, but it comes at a cost of another 2 heroes. Score now 15-4. It honestly doesn't look as bad as it feels. Every time I turn around, there's Empire heroes dying, but only down 5k gold experience.
Now Gyro's turning into a BKB. He does need HP. Their team fight is just way too strong. He cannot man up on the Ember, which is really bad when a Gyro can't man up on a hero this early in the game. Because generally it's like, okay, they has BKB and then Gyro can't really do that much. But now it's like he is super squishy.
Yeah, even building the BKB, he gets the Mithril Hammer first, so buys the more expensive component, but remains sub 1000 HP at 20 minutes.
Go Dezo, Silent. Go Dezo.
Just think it's Dezo Rush. That's some next level shit, man. Maybe it's a Maelstrom Gyro.
It'd be good for Roche. That's pretty much it.
You know you're digging deep when you're talking about Gyro rushing a Dezo.
But that slows down his item progression a lot because it doesn't help you farm. Ember Spirit, meanwhile, can go for damage.
Resolution trapped out here. Does get the Yule Scepter out, but Mind Control's on the hunt. Needs a little more backup, and there's nothing in sight. They once again lose the Lina. And again, the wards. The wards have just been... Yeah, it feels like the biggest source of the 5JuNGz success here.
But Empire's playing pretty smartly and occupying the opponent's jungle because they know that they know that they have wards somewhere in their jungle and they can't really have the resources to de-ward them all. So instead of like trying to smoke and take control of it, they're going, oh, Aloha Dance.
Hey, buddy.
Wrong
over
place,
here.
Wrong time. That would have worked plus or minus 5 seconds, but that exact moment was the wrong choice.
Of course, not that he can DD him too, right, when that happens.
I mean,
poor guy.
That's I think an appropriate risk for Lion too, because he's trying to regain some sort of map control.
Oh no, another hero picked off. Jodam caught out, and Fana says, "Thank you very much. I will take the Bloodstone charge, sir." Zip zap. Oh boy, 11 Bloodstone charges, Ben, and it feels like he has not had to work for these very much.
Yeah, soon it's going to be Roche, and then a gem, and then Empire's forced to 5-man, and Resolution is kind of out on his own. He's like the only one that can get solo picks, because Spirit Breaker is next to useless in this sort of game.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, there's a ton of ways to cancel charge. You've got the vacuum, the storm can just ball into him, the chains, potentially Winter's Curse. Then even if you catch someone, they're all tanky, it feels like.
And they have Glimmer.
And they have the Glimmer Cape.
So there's really not that much they can do. I didn't really like it as a last pick just because it didn't like round out their lineup. It's like, okay, we have a lot of single target, but then they have a lot of single target heal and sustain, and they have way better team fight. So what are we gonna do once they actually 5-on-5 us? And it probably won't get to that point until the end of the game.
Pray to the frog. That's what you do.
You
whenever
really don't want to team fight their lineup right now, but you also really don't want to give Storm an Aegis. And when he has like 15 Bloodstone charges,
the thought probably puts Empire quaking in their boots a bit. As we do see a Battle Fury already complete on Matumba Man. Keeps up with the Lina here. I just want to point out the difference between the two teams. Like, you look at the 5JuNGz, they triple sentry to ensure their jungle is cleared out after seeing that one support. Empire, I don't think they've even dewarded once in their entire side of the map. Thanks for the Bloodstone charge. The blue spirit and the red spirit going to work, and YOLO Warrior will be next. That's 2 more for Fada.
Look at Resolution.
This guy's just like playing.
He's drawing on the minimap. He is mega frustrated. That's a mega frustration.
That's like there are wards everywhere right now, and nowhere is safe.
Yeah, he knows he can't go anywhere, but he needs.
Oh no, Mutumba with the big grab finds 2 at the site of Twitch chains, and now trying to TP out Jotun will be denied by a vacuum. They pursue for more and additional chains. A swipe of those divide rapiers, and down he goes. 4 freebies. Oh, 5JuNGz, they're going to be up 1-0 at this rate, Ben. They're just stomping their way through.
Their supports just play so much better than them. Like, even when there's no one in the lane, I think they still got more. They still got more experience from just killing the Spirit Breaker by limiting Lina's farm and mid, from getting vision of their stacks, and like all these small things that the supports on Dire did that the Radiant just like, I mean, they just needed to stack like 3 or 4 camps, protect it from storm, you know, get runes and that sort of stuff. Maybe push down a tower a little bit earlier, but everything just came too slowly from them, and their lineup is not built around, you know, waiting to fight like at 15 minutes. You have to like win the lanes very early, get rotations, and kill storm a lot.
Even though they have the BKB now, do you feel like that's something that can change the game for Empire, or
no? He was
just too late.
He'll just get Winter's Cursed.
No, Aloha Dance trapped out as quickly as he shows up. He drops Resolution, trying to get something out of this. Mutumba man still well above the threshold of that Laguna Blade, and Ag's not yet complete, sliding through, looking for an additional kill on Mr. YOLO Warrior, who's, well, Mutumba man is playing like the real YOLO Warrior as he runs into the cow, gets bashed Laguna, but he dodges it with the remnant. What a play! Mutumba still ends up going down to Silent in the end, but a sick attempt to get out there. Now Kuro arrives looking to clean up an IL3 Fada. 14 Bloodstone charges, looking for more. Make it 15, make it 16 at 24 minutes. 0.6 Bloodstone charges a minute. And rising. This is getting out of hand. And oh, what do you know? A free regen run, though. This time, mind control, I get it. A wee bit of mercy, perhaps, for 5JuNGz. They just have no control for these guys.
Yeah, I think, again, they really wanted the Spirit Breaker to do a lot, which is...
And they warded for him in a way that didn't really help mid as much.
Yeah.
He just didn't gank at all through the laning stage. Died a couple times, and...
They might have needed like the Dazzle, I think, to support him on top, because Spirit Breaker is not a good jungler. So your only options are to A, gank Storm, B, just tank the deaths on top and die, which is pretty much what he did, but as we can see, that didn't work out terribly well. Or 3, bring up Dazzle, or yet another support up top. And I think the third option would have been the best in retrospect, but it was difficult for them at the time because they didn't know that Dire had a ward in mid, so even if they had gone for that option, it would have been not very fruitful.
Mutumba looking for free kills all over the map. Silent tries for the TP out and barely makes it, but this means instead Mutumba man is going to dive Jotun, sliding his way through deep onto the creep wave. The charge onto the Dazzle, or rather onto the Ember, will end up being cancelled. YOLO Warrior not feeling so YOLO anymore. Can't say I blame the poor guy.
I think the Dazzle just also doesn't fit in the lineup. Like generally you see Dazzle like in a situation where he can play aggressively, like let's say with a Shadow Demon that's kind of outdated, but or with a Phantom Lancer or Naga, somewhere where you can just heal bomb. Oh, Resolution walks right into a trap.
Well, who's trapped him? Fada does get clipped by the initial stun. The follow-up charge is there. And then another strike. Bam! They take down that Storm. Even after the death, though, still holding strong at 10 Bloodstone charges.
Oh,
but they
end
a mega kill streak here. Courier, well, looks like it will be okay as Ember takes a free tower. Yeah, Fada already back in the game.
Well, now he has his BKB, so now he's pretty much immune to the Lina combo.
Oh, he didn't actually have it delivered yet, because I saw he bought it, but I guess it was on the Courier still. Man, if he has that BKB there,
yep.
then you're mega sad.
Well, now Lion is pretty much just completely boned. He's halfway to his Blink Dagger, but with the BKB up, he's lucky to get it. Jarex in no man's land with the gem.
Uh-oh, this could be big. They get that initial charge off. Follow-up stun comes through from Resolution. Has the double damager in here, but Jarex is glimmered, kept alive, mech'd up, healed as well potentially by Kuroki. In fact, he already was. Now the Storm rushes forward, right back in the fight. Zip, zap, over here, over there. You can't stop me. Maybe they can. Fada never BKB'd, but the back comes through. still alive, hexed up, he hasn't got anything off. Winter's Curse, 3 down, about to be 4. Silent, desperately holding the line, fighting for all he's worth, a little bit more, he doesn't have the damage, and he will end up going down. 5JuNGz again and again, just overpowering Empire, and they don't even wait to watch their base burn.
Throw up the double G's. That's the right play.
They are using a stand-in here with Jotum. It felt like maybe there was some miscommunication with the supports with the stacking. You mentioned they could have adjusted the lanes. We didn't see that early on. So maybe a stand-in effect here. But I have to say, in the other games I've seen out of Empire, it feels like they're missing something without Yoku.
Missing a coherent game plan. It's like a lot of them are playing too solo, I think, and too greedy and without looking at the overall big picture. Whereas I think the supports on Dire, they had a better big pictures. Like Kuro is like, okay, I want to secure Storm's Farm. I'm going to make Spirit Breaker useless. And